Chosen one, listen closely. The day August 2nd is not just another page on the calendar. It's not a random sunrise or a casual unfolding of time. Something sacred has been carved into the fabric of that date. Something only the awakened can sense, only the spiritually aligned can feel, and only the truly chosen can embody. This day will shift something within you so powerfully that you will no longer walk, think, or breathe the same way. You are about to wake up like air, light, unburdened, flowing above the chaos and beyond the reach of every chain that once held you down. This is not a metaphor. This is prophecy. And if your spirit is tuned in right now, then you already feel it vibrating in your bones. You're not imagining the pull. You're not overreacting to the timing. You are responding to a call from the heavens. August 2nd is a spiritual landmark. It's the day the pressure will crack into breakthrough. The moment the heaviness you've carried will dissolve. The moment you rise, not just in stature, but in soul. Before we go any deeper, I need you to do 3 sacred things right now. Watch this video all the way through. It's designed to awaken the exact frequency within you that's ready to rise. Second, go to the comments and type your warmest, boldest wish into the atmosphere. Write 727 to activate that divine alignment. And lastly, subscribe to this channel if your heart feels this message, because you are on a journey that deserves continuous spiritual fuel and divine reminders. You're not just a viewer. You are part of a chosen circle that is walking into supernatural clarity, release, and flight. A powerful prayer awaits you at the end of this video. Don't miss it. Now let's dive into this revelation. You've been in a strange cocoon lately. You've noticed things around you becoming silent. People drifting, plans freezing, energies feeling distorted. But that's not because your life was falling apart. It's because your spiritual wings were being formed. Every painful silence, every lost opportunity, every time you questioned your purpose, it wasn't failure. It was divine preparation. The air does not fight to rise. It simply releases everything heavier than itself. And that's what you're about to do. On August 2nd, something invisible will shift inside of you. You may not even be able to explain it in words, but your soul will know. Suddenly, you won't feel bound by what used to haunt you. The things that used to shake you will lose their grip. Your responses will change. Your clarity will return. It's like your spirit will remember its wings again. You're going to wake up and say, I don't know what happened, but I'm not the same. That is the air moment. That is the becoming. And let me be clear, this is not going to feel like a loud explosion or a dramatic breakthrough. No, chosen one. This is going to feel gentle, almost silent, yet deeply irreversible. Like breath returning after holding it too long. Like a feather floating from the sky. Like a whisper from heaven. But don't mistake quiet for weak. Don't mistake subtle for small. God moves loud in silence. And your quiet shift is going to unlock a chain reaction of transformation in your external world. From within to without. You'll notice how you stop chasing things that are beneath your frequency. You'll no longer crave validation from those who never saw you. You'll stop explaining your value to people committed to misunderstanding you. Why? Because you've remembered your air. You rise. And air doesn't argue to take space. It simply enters and fills it. You'll start walking into rooms with calm power, no longer shrinking to fit. You'll speak less, but mean more. You'll pause and feel your presence move before your words do. And maybe that's the most powerful part of this shift. You'll finally feel yourself again. Not the version the world molded. Not the one who had to shrink, beg, prove, or pretend. But the pure, unfiltered, radiant soul God designed. August 2nd is not just about receiving something. It's about releasing everything you're not, so you can rise into everything you are. The people who once misunderstood you will feel the shift, but not be able to name it. They'll sense something's changed. They'll look for the version of you they used to manipulate, mock, or overlook. But that version won't be there. You won't need to announce your growth. They'll feel it in the air when you walk in. You're becoming untouchable in spirit, unreachable by low vibrations, and unshakable in peace. Chosen one, this is the moment you become the breath in the storm, the wind after stillness, the quiet change that carries power. Trust the 2nd of August. It's been marked for you long before you even realized it. And when you wake up on that day, let yourself feel the lightness. Let yourself recognize the divine in the silence. Let yourself believe you were never lost, you were just cocooned. Something happens when you've been pressed down for too long. You don't just rise because you want to. You rise because there's no more room to stay low. August 2nd is that sacred shift where your soul says, enough. You've spent too much time carrying weights that weren't yours. You've been walking around heavy, not because of your own burdens, but because you absorbed the fear, shame, doubt, and projections of others. But no more. Not after this date. This is your unburdening. This is where the air inside you becomes undeniable. People forget that air carries everything, sound, scent, life itself. But you never see it working. It just moves. And that's what's about to happen in your life. The movement that no one sees, but everyone will feel. Don't be surprised when things begin to shift without your doing. Don't panic when people fade away without a fight. Don't question the sudden urge to walk away from things that once defined you. That's not confusion. That's clarity moving through you like wind. The ones who underestimated you, they won't understand how you rose without them. The ones who tried to dim your light, they'll be blinded by your glow, because you're not rising with noise. You're rising with grace, with poise, with the quiet confidence of someone who finally remembers. I was never made to crawl. I was created to fly. And now there's nothing anchoring you to the ground but your own belief in the past. And that belief? It's breaking, crumbling, dissolving into vapor. A powerful prayer awaits you at the end of this video. Don't miss it. You see, air doesn't apologize for being everywhere. It doesn't seek permission to enter. It simply is. And the version of you emerging on August 2nd will no longer need permission to exist in fullness. You will not ask to be accepted. You will accept yourself. You will not try to fit into spaces that require you to shrink. You will expand and let the space meet your truth. You will not lower your frequency to connect with those who refuse to grow. You will let go and let them remain where they are. The time you spent in silence, where you thought God had forgotten you, that was the moment He was transforming you. That was the inhale before the exhale, the pause before the flight. He was protecting your wings while you were questioning the weight. And now, you're going to wake up and understand why it took so long. Because your rise was never meant to be average. It was meant to be supernatural, sacred, set apart. Chosen one, you're not just waking up lighter. You're waking up aligned. Spiritually, mentally, emotionally, something will snap into place, like fog clearing, like weightlifting, like chains breaking. You'll feel yourself rising, but this time it won't be from effort. It will be from surrender. That's the secret. You've tried everything else. Now you're learning how to let go. And in letting go, you rise. Some will think you changed overnight. Let them. They weren't there for the nights you cried into your pillow, the days you begged for a sign, the moments you almost gave up. They didn't see the breaking, the molding, the refining. But heaven saw it all, and heaven never forgot. That's why August 2nd is not a reward. It's a release. A release from everything you outgrew, but were too afraid to leave behind. And once you rise, things will respond to you differently. Doors that once slammed in your face will now open without effort. People who once overlooked you will now look to you. Not because you begged for attention, but because your energy is undeniable. You are no longer the version of you that tolerated crumbs, explained your worth, or questioned your path. You are air, and air only flows where it's free. So breathe deep, chosen one. Don't be afraid of this lightness. It's not emptiness, it's freedom. You're not floating away, you're ascending. And anything that can't rise with you, it will fall away. Don't chase it. Don't mourn it. Let it drop. Let it go. It's not a loss. It's a clearing. For what's meant to find you now needs space to arrive. Space your soul is finally making. Because the truth is, you've always had the capacity to rise, but now you've got the timing, the release, and the permission from heaven. You're not walking into August 2nd as the same person who entered July. You're walking in as someone who knows who they are. And when you know who you are, the world has no choice but to recognize you. You are chosen, not for comfort, but for transformation. Not to blend in, but to breathe new air into the world. And that begins now. August 2nd is not coming to change your situation. It's coming to change you. And once you change, the situation won't stand a chance. A powerful prayer awaits you at the end of this video. Don't miss it. August 2nd will not just feel like a day. It will feel like a declaration. It will whisper something into your spirit so softly, yet with such authority, that it echoes in every part of your being. The declaration will not come from outside. It will rise from within. A knowing, a calm certainty, a divine clarity that says, I am not who I used to be, and I'm never going back. You may wake up that day without anything visibly changing around you, yet everything within you will be new. This is how spiritual awakenings often come, not with thunder, but with stillness, not with a crowd watching, but with your soul standing in its own reflection and finally recognizing its brilliance. You will not need confirmation from anyone. You will simply know. Like breath, like wind, you will be it before you speak it. That's the moment you've been waiting for. For too long, you've dimmed your spirit to keep the peace. You've stayed grounded for others' comfort. You've explained your fire to those who never intended to hold it. But the air within you is rising now. It's no longer tolerating suppression. And when that divine shift begins, you'll feel it in everything. In your posture, in your decisions, in the conversations you no longer entertain, in the peace that will not leave you. You'll begin to realize something else too. Not everyone is meant to breathe the altitude you're heading toward. Air becomes thinner the higher you go, and some people simply won't have the lungs for it. Let them remain where they are. Your job is not to drag them up the mountain. Your role is to rise, to lead by being, to move by essence, to glow so fiercely in your spiritual truth that it disrupts every lie others told about you. Your healing is already happening, not just the healing of wounds, but the healing of perception. You no longer see yourself through the eyes of limitation. You see yourself through the lens of divine purpose. You recognize that every closed door was divine redirection. Every delay was sacred protection. Every betrayal was a detour from destruction. You no longer carry bitterness. You carry revelation. This clarity is what August 2nd is delivering. And with it comes a stillness that no storm can shake. That's the gift of becoming like air. You become untouchable by the things that once stirred your anxiety. You become unreachable to the chaos that once tried to bind you. Your spirit flows past resistance. You speak with conviction. You act with alignment. You trust, even when the map isn't visible, because your compass is internal now. You'll stop asking, "Why did it happen this way?" and start declaring, "Thank God it did." Because your new perspective will show you that nothing was wasted. Not the nights you cried, not the friends who left, not the moments that felt like failure. Every one of those chapters were stepping stones to this moment. The moment your spirit takes flight. The moment your soul remembers it has no ceiling, and you will notice something sacred. Peace will become your default. Not because the world outside is peaceful, but because your internal world has stabilized. Because once you breathe in divine truth, you can't unknow it. You can't go back to pretending you're small. You can't unsee your own glow. August 2nd will be the day you not only realize it, you will live it. This transformation will also affect your boundaries. The old you may have let things slide, let people linger, let energy drain you. But this version of you is different. You're not cruel, you're clear. You're not arrogant, you're aligned. You're not pushing people away, you're rising beyond reach. There's a difference, and you don't owe anyone an apology for choosing your elevation. Chosen one, you've suffered in silence, you've grown in shadows, and now it's your time to breathe in light. This is not the moment to second guess. This is not the moment to look back. This is the moment to inhale truth and exhale everything that no longer resonates. You're not obligated to carry the version of yourself you've already outgrown. Trust what's falling away right now. Trust the people who stop calling. Trust the plans that are no longer exciting. Trust the doors that suddenly close. It's not a sign of failure. It's proof that your frequency is changing. And when your frequency changes, your alignment with the old dissolves. That's not punishment. It's purification. You've been wondering why you feel so distant from the things that once brought comfort. It's because you've grown. It's because you're being called into the air, into the heights, into the unseen realm where your soul was designed to thrive. Your wings are no longer optional. They are required, and you will not need to explain them. You will simply open them and soar. There comes a moment in every chosen one's life where your old self gently dies, not from pain, but from peace. A still, sacred peace that announces the end of striving, of chasing, of forcing what was never aligned. And that's what August soon is ushering in. A graceful departure from your false identity and a breathless return to your divine one. You don't rise like air by accident. You rise because it's time. This time, you're not waking up in survival mode. You're waking up in sacred alignment. You're not waking up to fix chaos. You're waking up to witness clarity. You're not waking up to fight, but to float, to flow, to move only in the direction of peace. The version of you that struggled to be heard will no longer shout. They'll simply be, and that presence alone will change atmospheres. You'll find that you begin to crave silence more than noise, not because you're hiding, but because the voice of God, the voice of wisdom, the voice of truth, it speaks in stillness. The deeper you go into this transformation, the less you'll feel the need to explain yourself to anyone. You'll no longer defend your energy, your choices, your journey. Why? Because air doesn't justify where it goes. It just moves. It just arrives. And so will you. On August 2nd, don't be surprised if the world feels unfamiliar. That's because it's not the world that changed. It's your eyes. You're seeing through healed vision now. Through the lens of sovereignty, not scarcity. Through the knowing that your breath is divine, your presence is intentional, and your future is already prepared. You no longer feel desperate because your soul has remembered its abundance. You no longer feel broken because your spirit has remembered its wholeness. The people around you may not understand the quiet fire in your eyes or the strength in your stillness. They may say you've changed, and that's exactly right. You're no longer tolerating what dishonors your spirit. You're no longer giving time to what doesn't water your purpose. Your yes has become sacred. Your no has become protection. And neither requires guilt. You're not arrogant for choosing peace. You're not wrong for detaching. You're not selfish for outgrowing old dynamics. What you're doing is called healing. What you're doing is called honoring. What you're doing is called breathing. And on August 2nd, you'll breathe fully again, Not just oxygen, but vision, clarity, presence. You'll feel it as you move through your day. Light, unbothered, unshaken, whole. This is your quiet return to self. This is what the cocoon was preparing you for. The loneliness, the waiting, the inner chaos. It was all meant to purge what you could no longer carry into your next chapter. God wasn't punishing you. He was peeling you. And now what's left is truth. What's left is the soul that can no longer be shaken by storms, because it became the wind. August 2nd is about emergence. It's about stepping out of your spiritual hiding and walking with quiet authority. No trumpets, no announcements, just presence. You'll walk differently, think differently, respond differently. And not because you're forcing change, but because the change already happened inside of you. The rest of the world is just catching up. Do not let the simplicity of this awakening fool you. The most powerful shifts come without thunder. They come in the way you say no and mean it. In the way you walk away from manipulation without guilt. In the way you protect your peace like a sacred temple. In the way you pray without begging, knowing you are heard. In the way you smile, not because life is perfect, but because your spirit is finally free. You'll notice how you begin choosing differently. You'll no longer stay where your soul feels suffocated. You'll no longer try to convince people of your worth. You'll no longer tolerate lukewarm energy, half-effort love, or the exhaustion of being misunderstood. You'll bless them, release them, and rise. Quietly, boldly, like air. This shift isn't a trend. It's a timeline. You've crossed into a new frequency. The old triggers no longer stick. The old fears no longer bite. The old loops no longer repeat. You are not under spiritual maintenance anymore. You are under spiritual flight. And your wings, they're not fragile. They're forged from every moment you didn't quit, every time you forgave instead of retaliated, every prayer you whispered when nobody saw you breaking. So now, chosen one, stand still, breathe. Feel the energy of August 2nd approaching like the dawn. You've made it through the shadows. You've survived the undoing, and now you get to receive. Not because you chased it, but because you became it. What's coming next will not require the old you. So leave them behind, lovingly. Bless the version of you who endured, but don't carry their survival scars into your season of peace. The healing has worked. The cocoon is opening. You are no longer bound. You didn't come this far just to be seen. You came this far to be elevated. And on August 2nd, the elevation becomes undeniable. But what no one talks about is how strange it feels to finally rise after living so long in survival mode. The air feels thinner, not because something's wrong, but because you've never breathed this high before. And that's why this transition may feel surreal at first. Lightness feels foreign when you've been carrying emotional weight for years. But don't mistake this lightness for instability. What you're feeling is liberation. You're being untethered from all the noise that once told you who to be. You're being released from the cycles that once convinced you healing would never come. This is not the absence of feeling, it's the abundance of freedom. It's the moment where your energy speaks before you do, and peace becomes your silent roar. On August 2nd, you might not have the words to describe what's happening, but you'll feel it in your soul. You'll move with quiet certainty, like someone who finally found the rhythm of their own heartbeat. You won't need approval. You won't need applause. You'll understand that the divine is not always loud, but it is always present. And right now, that presence is hovering over your life, waiting for you to inhale and say, I trust this, even if I don't fully understand it. This trust is the real shift. This is where you stop relying on signs and start relying on the knowing that lives in your bones. This is where you stop asking, what if it all goes wrong? And start declaring, what if it all goes right? Because what's being activated on August 2nd is not just a new season. It's a new spirit, a boldness, a clarity, a calm confidence that says, I was made for this. You'll begin to realize how much power there is in being unshaken. When the world around you is spinning, your silence will speak louder than panic. Your poise will command more than your defense. You'll find strength in restraint, wisdom in stillness, and purpose in peace. You won't need to be loud to be powerful. You'll simply be, and everything around you will adjust to your presence. This shift will not just change how you move, it will change what moves toward you. You'll attract different people, different opportunities, different outcomes. Not because you chased them, but because your vibration shifted. You'll become a magnet for peace, because you've embodied peace. You'll become a vessel for clarity, because you've released confusion. You'll become a lighthouse, not for validation, but for alignment. People will notice. They may not say it, but they will feel it. They'll sense that something is different, that you're no longer the version of yourself who tolerated chaos, that you're no longer operating from lack, that you don't flinch when people leave, and you don't break when plans fall apart. That's what happens when you rise like air. You move with the wind, but you carry the weight of divine strength. Let them be confused. Let them wonder. Let them whisper. You're not here for them. You're here for your purpose. And your purpose has waited long enough. You've dimmed, delayed, and detoured long enough. The silence has spoken. The struggle has taught. The refining has finished. You are no longer in waiting. You are in becoming. And the becoming won't look dramatic. It will look like peace when others expect panic. Like a smile when others expect silence. Like boundaries when others expect access. Like presence when others expect avoidance. You are no longer performing. You are living. No more proving, no more pleasing, no more pretending. You have entered the era of authenticity. There's a reason the air doesn't beg to be noticed. It's too essential to be ignored. That's you now. Quiet, but necessary. Light, but powerful. Present, but untouchable. And on August 2nd, that energy will become your norm. Not a momentary high, but a permanent state. Not a fleeting feeling, but a sustained alignment. Don't be surprised if you feel emotional on that day. Not sad, just awakened. It's the kind of emotion that hits when you realize how far you've come. When you feel the weight lifting. When you sense the breath returning. It's the moment you look back at all the versions of yourself that survived and finally whisper, thank you. Because now, you get to live for more than just survival. You get to live for wholeness, for joy, for lightness, for truth. And every step you take from this moment forward will be an act of remembering. I am not lost. I am not late. I am not broken. I am air. And I rise. This is your sacred reintroduction to the world, to yourself, to your calling. Let August 2nd be the date everything changes, not outside, but within. And when it does, the outside won't have a choice but to follow. Chosen one, this is the moment the old world fades behind you, not with noise, but with divine stillness. August 2nd is not a finish line. It's a holy threshold. And now that you're crossing it, nothing about you will remain ordinary. This is not motivation. This is not hype. This is sacred knowing. You didn't just survive your becoming. You emerged from it lighter, freer, unrecognizable to the darkness that once called your name. From the outside, People may still think they know you, but they have no idea what had to die inside you for this version to be born. The you who rises on August 2nd is no longer fueled by proving or striving. You are moved by alignment now, drawn by peace, directed by something bigger than logic, something spiritual, something ancient in your bones that always knew this day would come. There's a reason the enemy fought your mind so hard. There's a reason the delays tried to crush your faith. There's a reason the isolation nearly broke you. It wasn't because you were weak. It was because you were rising. And every moment that tried to keep you down was terrified of what would happen if you ever stood in your truth. Well, you're standing now. You're not just awake, you're ascending. And what happens now isn't just about you. It's about what your rise will ripple into the world, the spaces you'll enter and shift without effort, the people you'll inspire without words, the healing that will spread simply because you remembered your light and dared to carry it openly. You are not here to take up space. You are here to fill it, to flow like air, to bring breath into lifeless places, to remind the earth that some souls were sent to elevate everything they touch. This is why August 2nd matters, because it marks the moment heaven touches earth through you, the moment the invisible becomes visible, the moment the waiting turns into walking, not with pressure, but with power, not with fear, but with full surrender. You don't have to understand every step. You just have to take the next one, knowing the air will hold you now. You'll walk through your day with a kind of grace that doesn't explain itself. You'll notice how your energy doesn't chase, it attracts. You'll see how problems don't weigh on you like they used to. Not because they're gone, but because you've changed altitude. You've risen above the storm. You are no longer in the turbulence. You are the wind that moves through it. And as this lightness becomes your home, don't be surprised if some old versions of your life try to call you back. Old patterns, old people, old identities. Not because you need them, but because they feel your distance. Stay high. Don't descend to be understood. You were never meant to fit there. You were meant to elevate. Even in moments when doubt tries to return, you'll feel the deeper truth louder. This time is different. Because you are different. You're not waiting to be chosen. You know you've been chosen. And with that knowing comes a responsibility. To no longer betray your light for comfort. To no longer abandon your truth for approval. To no longer live small when your destiny has always been sky-sized. This is the unveiling of the true you, the soul that glows without permission, the spirit that walks with heaven's authority. You are not the echo, you are the original, and your life is about to reflect that. Not because you forced it, but because you trusted it. So, on August 2nd, take a moment for yourself. Breathe deeply. Look in the mirror, not for flaws, but for proof. Proof that you've endured the fire and didn't burn. Proof that you've carried the weight and didn't break. Proof that after everything, you still rose. And now you rise again. Not because you have to, but because it's your nature. From this day forward, walk like the air that you are, everywhere, untouchable, vital, and free. Welcome to your new frequency. Welcome to your real life. August 2nd isn't just a day, it's a spiritual wind. And you, chosen one, were born to ride it. God of divine timing and holy alignment, I pause today on this sacred threshold, August 2nd, with a heart wide open. I surrender the old weight, the silent battles, the unspoken fears, and everything that no longer serves who I'm becoming. I release the version of myself that survived, and I welcome the version that is now ready to soar. On this divine day, breathe new life into my spirit. Let me rise like air, light, free, invisible to resistance, but undeniable in presence. I declare this day as my shift, my turning point, my spiritual awakening. Let clarity fall over my mind like gentle rain. Let peace cover my heart like the morning sky. Let purpose rise in me like the wind that cannot be caged. On August 2nd, I step fully into who I was created to be. Chosen, grounded, whole, and unshakable. May I walk in grace that needs no explanation, speak in truth that doesn't beg to be heard, and rest in a strength that comes from heaven. I trust the unseen. I trust the silence. I trust this moment. Thank you for preparing me, for protecting me, for positioning me. Now I am ready. I breathe in freedom. I exhale fear. I rise into my divine timeline, softly, surely, like air. Amen.